you ever looked back at life and just thought, damn, how did I make it through that? Something I've been thinking about lately, and not a lot of people know this, but I've been on my own since I was 16. No high school diploma, no money, no safety net or anything. And I wanted to make this video, not for sympathy or anything, but just to kind of see who's been through it or who's currently going through it. I ended up growing up in a pretty chaotic environment. Housing, parents were addicted, and eventually social services got involved. They ended up taking me. I was only like 14, and they put me with my uncle. Now, he never had kids. In fact, his girlfriend at the time, well, I guess still is, but she was only 8 years older than me, which is obviously not ideal situation. They didn't really know how to take care of me, how to even take care of a kid at that point, right? Felt uncomfortable, awkward, and again, there was still addiction going on at the time with a lot of my family. So my friends is like all I ever had. That was my family basically at that in those times. I ended up running away at 16, lying to the social services all the time, saying I was fine because I felt fine. I felt like it was normal, like that was normal life. But eventually, like I said, I ran away. I was couch surfing, literally going to shelters and churches just to eat food. We would go to food banks. I ended up working at McDonald's when I was 15. Kind of went in there as a joke, and because my buddy was like, oh, you should ask for a job, and I'm like, I'll get one right now. And funny enough, they actually interviewed me on the spot, and I ended up getting the job. I was like 15. But that didn't last long. I was around the wrong crowds, partying and stuff, working under the table as well with other family members. And basically, yeah, I started falling around the wrong crowd. It's crazy because I was actually doing really well in high school. I had what was called honor roll at the time. So literally I was switching arms here. Literally I was on honor roll with a average above 80, and that was for all my courses. That was for everything. But I started, going down the wrong path, partying a lot, trying to find ways to make money, not doing the most justable things, I guess you can say. And eventually I had a few close friends do some jail time, and it was kind of like a wake-up call for me. Friends spiraling, just a lot going on, and it really opened my eyes. I'm like, this is not me. I don't want to be like this. I don't want to go down that path or continue going down this path. And I didn't even graduate. I left the East End in the city, and I moved to the West because I ended up getting a job in sales. So I ended up getting into door-to-door sales. Never did it before, never knew anything about it, and it was 100% commission based, which obviously isn't easy. So from doing that, I remember it was 2 weeks in, I didn't get a single sale. And it's not easy just going up to a random door, knocking. You don't know what's going on behind the door, if the husband and wife just got a divorce, if someone died in the family, those types of things. So you're dealing with a lot. And I remember breaking down one day, and it was a real pivotal paradigm shift, I guess you can say, because I was about to quit. Like I said, I was living in my girlfriend's grandma's house in the basement at the time, and had nothing really going for me, but I decided to treat it like it was the only job I was ever gonna have again. Started doing self-development, reading books, watching videos, taking it even more serious, practicing at home in the mirror. And then eventually I got good. I got real good. I broke a few company records. I started having my own team, training people. And then I eventually ended up winning a trip to Cancun, in Mexico City now, which is even more ironic. But that was back in 2012 that I won that trip, and it was the only time I've ever been out of Canada. So from there, I basically hit rock bottom again. The industry started going down after 4 years. People were leaving, jumping ship, and it wasn't really the best for me mentally because there was a lot of bad apples. And I ended up getting into window cleaning. So I started off on the ground. I know, right? Sales to window cleaning. But it was a really interesting business, and I've been through a lot of different businesses, switching hands. But I got into window cleaning and eventually got into a high rise. So I was trained on ropes, rope rescue, hanging from skyscrapers literally. And then I also got into courier work. So I was a bike courier for a few years on and off as well in that time. And I started to make YouTube vlogs about being a bike courier, doing Uber. They were blowing up. I was one of the first ones in Toronto when Uber launched. One of the first ones to do Uber Eats when it launched in Toronto. And then eventually I ended up getting hit by a car. Wow, it's pretty wild, right? But here's the thing, that money that I got from the settlement, I ended up using it to fuel my acting career. At the time, I was already doing background acting for a couple of years. So I was on set, getting experience, picking people's brains. But I used that to fuel my acting career in the sense of I got headshots done. I ended up getting acting classes. So I started taking a bunch of different acting classes with real reputable coaches in the industry. And eventually started auditioning for student films. I started to book little films, build a resume, build a name for myself a little bit so I could get an agent. And then I got an agent. Started booking commercials, TV roles, and yeah, it started going well. And then I wanted to start working behind the scenes on the crew side of things, just to kind of dip my toes in and see what it's all about. So I became a production assistant. Did that for about a year. Still do. It's just now I'm in Mexico City. New chapter. Started doing vlogs, just real talk, being myself, and seeing where that goes. But there's still so much more I haven't said. The pain I've had, the people I've lost, and things I haven't told anybody. But here's what I know. Your past doesn't determine your potential. Struggle, it can be your teacher if you let it. And if you are feeling lonely, just know you're not the only one that's gone through it. That's why I decided to keep showing up for me. Bet on myself. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about you more than you. And you should care about yourself. But yeah, you learn to keep showing up for life, even when life is giving you every excuse to give up. So yeah, I've been on my own since I was 16. Still learning, still building, still dreaming. And if you've gone through something different, or you've gone through something similar, just know it's all part of your story. It's just the middle of your story. It's not your destination or where you are gonna be. But if it resonated with you, or you just want to share, let me know. And I just thought I'd make this video.